Hi, I'm Jo from J.H.Leather, and in this episode of the J.H.Leather Podcast, we're talking all about my fun in the snow, April's make-along video, and my leathercraft 101 mini-series. So first things first, we'll get this out of the way. This isn't going to be a video podcast. I know I said I was going to try and do them, but the last one, it went fine. It's just a bit of a faff to set up because we don't have much room here at home really at all, and I just can't find anywhere to sort of set up nicely. It's just the house is just too small and too old basically. But also I do and a lot in the podcast, and if I'm doing it as a podcast I can really easily edit those out so I sound like more of a professional podcaster. But I can't do that if I am doing it on video because obviously I'm moving around a lot and it's just awkward to edit them all out. But also I'm not very good at speaking in terms of I intake air a lot. I think I don't breathe when I talk. I think this is a problem. I might should have some talking lessons. And so whilst I can take those out easily again here on the podcast, if I'm doing a video podcast I can't take them out as easily. So for now we're just going to be a normal podcast. I will put some pictures up if you do want to watch along. If I talk about something that, it's a podcast. So if I talk about something and I have images of what it is I'm talking about, then I will put those up. And so it'll be like a podcast plus, I guess, if you did want to watch along on YouTube. So that is the first thing. The second thing is, I know I said I was going to set up J.H.Leather Podcasts, which I have, and this video / podcast will be going out on that YouTube channel. But I'm also trying this on the main YouTube channel because since that last podcast, YouTube has released this podcast section so you can put your videos into a podcast, and I got no idea as to how that actually works in practice. And as usual with YouTube, you can't find any information really on it, nothing that's really clear and useful. So yeah, we're going to put this on both channels and see how it does. And it might be that if the way they come out, it might be that I might just end up sticking everything back on the main channel because I do have all the podcasts here. Basically I just unlisted them, so I would just make them public again and just put them into a podcast playlist, and so hopefully that will all work. But like I said, YouTube, unless you have help with it and you can find help, YouTube really isn't very helpful as a platform, and there's lots of differing opinions on how to do this and how to do that, so it's very hard to find a clear route really. And I was hoping that at 100,000 subscribers I would get into this sort of creator program that they do, but it's an invitation only and I haven't had an invitation yet, and I think there are other rules and stipulations around being entered into that. And basically what you do is you actually get someone from YouTube to help you and help grow your channel. But like I said, it's invitation only and I haven't had my invitation, so I'm just gonna have to wait and hope that at some point I fit their criteria, and then I can actually get some help with how to push things and how to make the most for of the subscribers and of the viewers, and how I can make basically the most out of it and keep making great content for you and all of that. So unfortunately, like I said, I don't have that help, so you just got me muddling along as before. So hopefully you will enjoy listening to this if you were just on the listening side of the podcast. And like I said, there will be a sort of I guess a slideshow or something. Basically if I'm talking about something, I'll put a photo up of it if I have one. So that's that bit out of the way. Okie dokie. So starting with non-leatherwork stuff, this month has been quite busy. Starting out with, right at the very beginning of the month, I actually booked onto my first ever photography holiday, and I'm really excited. It's something that I've been wanting to do really since I started taking photos back in 2016. And I finally got the courage, I guess, to go ahead and actually book one. And so I'm super excited. It's not until next year. I've got a whole year to wait, but I am very excited for it. It's basically a week photographing wildlife and landscapes in the Cairngorms in Scotland in winter with snow, hopefully. And it's just, I'm super excited. I saw all the pictures from this year's retreat, I guess, as it were, and it just looks amazing. And I've not been to the Cairngorms or sort of the eastern side of Scotland. We've always stuck to the west coast with our sailing and our sort of car adventures before that. So I am super excited for that. And there's going to be other photographers there who I can talk to, because bless him, I don't think Tim really appreciates my talking at him about photography stuff. He doesn't understand it all. So yeah, so it's going to be great to get away and do that. And like I said, I am super excited, and hopefully I'm going to do all the learning as well, because I do like learning. I'm one of those people, unfortunately, who just likes to learn new stuff. And so yes, super excited for that. And my advice to anyone out there is, if you are looking at, it doesn't matter what, if you're wanting to learn something or do something new, the advice for today from me is go out and do it, because you won't regret it. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So I'm super excited for that, because like I said, I've been wanting to do one for ages, and Scotland is just such a magical place. So I am very excited for that. Outside of that, what else has happened? We've had an awful lot of snow right at the very beginning of the month. Now, we don't usually get too much snow here in this part of the UK. So I'm in Wales, and although we do every now and again, we'll get a bit of a dusting, but we haven't had a big snowfall for a good few years. And this was the year, and it was amazing. And it was a really good snow, because basically it fell over mostly a day and a half, and then it all disappeared like 2 days after. So it was great, and it was all gone, but it was amazing. So there was so much of it. And on the first day I went out, and I was actually out for nearly 3 hours. I went out, just me and my camera, taking photographs on my local walk that I usually take Skylar on. It was something that I wanted to do for a while, just go out on a photo walk. And so yes, I did it in the snow, and it was amazing. I got soaked, but it was fine. It was just nice to get out, and there was no one else around, because it was a proper blizzard, and it was just so nice, and it was so quiet, eerily. Oh, can't even say that. Eerily quiet. So yeah, and it was just amazing. So I had a really good time with that. And then when I got home, Tim and I took Skylar out in the field behind our house, because bless her, she's going to be 10 this year. So she's not as spriggy as she once used to be, but she doesn't give it her out or her all. But we do have to be a bit careful with her, because she does tend to go lame a lot. She's got issues with both of her shoulders. So that's why I didn't take her on my walk with me earlier in the day, because it was quite long and there'd be lots of standing around, and she'd have got cold as well. But also, if there's a lot of snow around, she's going to be jumping through it. So she went out in the field and had a lovely time. She was like a little puppy again. Loves the snow, does our Skylar. And I got some really nice photos of her that I am so pleased with, and I'll show them if you're watching on YouTube. They will be sort of on the screen now, and it was just amazing to just get out with her. And it was the first time in the snow with this new camera that I got it last year. It's the Sony A7 IV, and oh my goodness, it's amazing. And I got so many nice pictures of her. It was so hard to choose my favorite ones, but there's just one that I got, and she's a flying spaniel. She's completely off the floor, going full pout, just running around like a crazy spaniel should do. So yeah, she had a whale of a time, and it was, like I said, it was really nice. It was a great kind of snow. It was snowy for a couple of days, and then it was gone, which was ideal, because the UK does not do well in the snow, especially England, and Wales is a bit better at least. But yes, Scotland manages it. Wales is okay, because we do actually have snowplows that go out a lot, which is really good. But if you're in England, at least in the southern parts of England, if there's anything more than maybe a centimetre or two, you're screwed. We don't cope with adverse weather conditions at all here. But yeah, so that was amazing to get out and take photos and just have some fun. I did some sledging in the garden as well, which was fun. Hadn't done that for a good while. Wasn't the most exciting sledge run, but I did it. And that's the main thing. I had fun on my 5 to 6 meter course. But yeah, so that was really good. So at the beginning of the month, it was really good fun time. So that's most of the non-leathercraft related news here at J.H. Leather. And so getting on to the leathercraft stuff, it has been a good month. Released the first make-along of the year, which is quite exciting, which was the clutch bag. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's a really nice make, to be fair. And I'm really pleased with how they come out, and the reception to it as well has gone down really well. The YouTube short that I made has done quite well as well, which is really nice. I think it's got about 10,000 views at this point, which is pretty good for me and the views that I get on the channel. Still don't understand how monetizing of those works, because I think I've made all of about 20p, which is not a lot for those 10,000 views, but I guess the YouTube gods know what they're doing. Who knows? I don't think YouTube really knows what they're doing with that algorithm, let's be fair. Yeah, so that's went down really well. And so we had the release of the 2-piece DIY card holder, and that was also released as an acrylic template. And again, that has done all right, which is nice. It is a design that I really like and is the one that I prefer to make if I am going to choose between all the card holders that I offer. And so that's really good. And the the DIY belts have finally come out. I know I've been yakking on about that for months and months and months, so you can all breathe a big sigh of release because I have finally released them into the world. And so yeah, really excited for that, and hopefully they'll go down well. I've got one on order already, which is nice, and so hopefully it's going to be, I think their time to shine is going to be around like things like Father's Day and Christmas and all that sort of thing. So hopefully they'll do well, because I'm really pleased with them. I know it's my product and I am biased, but as like a DIY kit goes, they are really nice belts, to be fair. Like I said, I know that I've designed them, so I am biased, but they do look really good. And basically, you know, you've got all the skills in there, barring cutting it out. You know, you're going to be hand stitching it, you're going to be staining it and polishing it, and they come out really, really nice, and they do look really good and a lot better than the belts that you see in stores and stuff like that. And they are full-on bridal leather belts, so they're 3.5 to 4 mil veg tan bridal leather, you know, and they got like the solid fittings and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that they do well. I think I might need to do a bit of like a social media drive, I guess, behind that and stuff like that. But yeah, so they've come out, and like I said, I've sold one already, which is really good. At the moment, they're only available in black and dark Havana. I might every now and again get in a hide for limited edition ones, so I'm looking at maybe getting a conker leather in, because I've got some conker collars and leads on order, and all the ladies that I usually try and buy strips from rather than having to buy a hide from don't have any conker. So I think I'm going to have to buy a whole hide, which I need to then make use of the rest of it, because they only need about 6 inches or so. So yes, so they've come out, which is really good. And so April's make along video is already done pretty much. I've got a few little bits to do. I just got to go and print off the acrylic template and take a photo of that, and take a photo of the my brain's gone empty. I've got to take photos of the PDF pack as well. So I got to print off and take photos of both of those for the videos, and then that video can be edited and done. I think I've also got to do a bit of voiceover on that as well. So there's a few little tweaks to do, but the actual patterns are done. The acrylic templates have been designed and are ready for printing off. I just got to get down to the workshop and do that. And so this month, or next month, I guess, it's April. We'll go for that. April's make along video is going to be a tri-fold wallet, and I am super pleased with how the patterns for this and the actual design has come out. A tri-fold wallet is something that I've been wanting to make for a while, and like I said, I'm super pleased with how this has come out. And so I hope you enjoy making that one if you choose to make it, or enjoy watching it if you just want to watch the video. So you've got 9 card slots, and then they've each got a pocket behind them, and then you've got a really big spacious area for notes and receipts and whatever else you want to put in your wallet. And yeah, it's come out really well. Like I said, I was really pleased with it, and I made it from one of my favoritist leathers, veg tanned pigskin, and I prefer the greased one because it just feels that much nicer. You can get, basically, it's a greased or a tallow waxed one, or you can get like I think it's called like a dry one, like a dry pigskin, which, I mean, they're both exactly the same, but one has been tallow waxed, basically, hint in the name, but they feel so different. And the tallow wax ones, they're so much more mellow and nice feeling, and I prefer those above the dry ones any day of the week. So they're really nice, and it's a really nice rich nut brown, and I love it. And so yeah, it's come out really nicely, and yeah, like I said, it's pretty much ready to go. It was going to be as this comes out, so this is going to be coming out on the 30th of March, and so hopefully the make along will be out next week. is my plan. So as long as I get my little bits and pieces done, which I should do, it shouldn't take too long to finish off. So that's going to be the first video of the month and this month's make along. I'm also making headway with my leathercraft 101, which I think I touched on in the last podcast. I can't fully remember because that was all of a month ago and I can't really remember what happened yesterday. So if I didn't speak about it already, I'm going to speak about it now. The leathercraft 101 mini series, that's what I am planning, and it's going to be, I think at the moment, about 5 parts, and it's going to be split down into different sections, and it's going to be aimed at beginner leather crafters, because I do get asked a lot of questions where, you know, for like of complete beginners and stuff, and I think having a dedicated mini series to that I think would be quite helpful. But also it's actually really interesting for me to actually make these sort of videos, so we're going to have them split down. Like I said, there's going to be 5 of them, so there aren't going to be in any particular order, although I think it might be the order that I'm now going to say, because it sort of makes sense, I think, to do it like this. And so we're going to have like an introduction to leather, so the differences between chrome tan and veg tan, the differences between like hides and skins, and the different cuts that you can get. And then at the end of that is going to be a brief sort of overview as to what thicknesses of leather I use for what and why, because there's like different cuts that I would use as well. So that's going to be one video. We're also going to have one all about threads, because threads is another thing that I get asked about a lot, and the differences and what people should use. So we're going to have, you know, we'll talk about polyester threads, tiger threads, cabled threads, linen threads, and the sizes that you can get, and the needle sizes is another one that I get asked on, and what needle size to use for what thread, and what pricking iron size to use, and what thread to use with all that. So hopefully that video will shed some light for those of you who are interested in what threads should be used for what. A lot of it does come down to personal taste, and so again, that is something to consider. But this, hopefully the video will go over a lot of the questions that I do get asked about threads and what ones to use in leathercraft. There also is going to be a video dedicated to beginner leathercraft tools. Now, I know lots of other videos, and even me, I think I've done like two videos all about leathercraft tools, like all the ones that I have. But this one is going to be very specifically for beginners. So the bare essentials that you need to get started in leathercraft, and sort of basically what you need to get started, and a few places on where to get them. I think I'll probably put a downloadable PDF or something with links to different suppliers and a bit more about them and stuff like that. Because again, that's quite interesting. And you know, when you are starting out, you don't need to rush out and get really expensive like hammers and pricking irons and stuff like that. You can start with the essentials and to see, you know, how you get on, if you like it, and then go from there. And so they're going to be the 3 introductory ones. And so the coaster projects, we're basically going to be doing 2 of those. So there's going to be 2 coaster project videos, but we're going to be stitching one with diamond chisels, so we won't be using an awl, and we'll be using the more modern way of saddle stitching where you don't use an awl. But we will also then, in the video after that, be doing the same project. I'll probably pick a different design of coaster to do to make it a little bit different, but we will be using pricking irons and we will be using an awl. And I'm basically going to go over the techniques of how to use an awl and how to better yourself when using an awl. Because to start with, if you are using an awl, if your stitching isn't always as good on the back, because there's a lot of sort of bits involved with your arm and sort of the angle that your arm is at, and also with your awl. So they are going to be the 5 that I'm going to go over. And so I will also probably release a free PDF pack of probably about 4 different designs of coasters that you can get, and that'll be on the website. You can get that as a free download, but they'll also be released as an acrylic template for those of you who want to make more of them and would like something a bit more substantial than some paper printed ones. So that is the plan. And so, yeah, so I've just been basically planning out those. I've got mostly the first 2 planned. I've done a really brief one of tools because I can go over that in the workshop as I've got the tools in front of me, and I have planned out most of the leather ones. So hopefully I'll finish getting the leather one planned out, and that I'm pretty sure is going to be the first one out, because like I said, I don't have a video about leather on my leathercraft channel, so it makes sense to put that one out. And so as it is April, pretty much, the one-to-one workshops that I offer are going to be starting up, and I have got 3 booked in so far for April, which I'm very excited about because I love doing the one-to-ones. They are so much fun. I really do enjoy them, and we've got quite a few different things that we're going to be covering this month with those. So the first one that I've got on next week, as of recording the podcast, is with a lady who has done leather crafting before. She's done a lot of repairs, and she is just looking to get a bit more help in doing new stuff and learning some like new techniques and stuff. And we're going to go over all the tool sharpening, and it's going to be really exciting because I love one-to-ones because I basically have a captive audience of someone who wants to talk and know about leather. And so yes, it's going to be really fun. So I'm looking forward to that. And we are going to be focusing on doing some equine stuff. So making, I think, cheek pieces and head pieces is the main thing that she would like to go over, as well as tool sharpening and maintenance, just to get us started. Because when you are starting and you get your tools, although I do think my videos on tool sharpening are quite thorough, it is always a bit daunting to do on your own. And if you've got someone around that knows what they're doing, then everything's a little bit easier. So we're going to go over tool sharpening as well. So that's the first one. We've then got 2 beginners. It's going to be in the next 2. So doing different things with both of them. The first one wants to go on to do dog collars and leads. So we will be basically getting him to a point where he can do that. So he's actually booked in for 3 days, but he's chosen to split his day. So we've got 1 booked in so far where we're going to go over the basics, and then hopefully he can go away and do a bit of practicing and then come back and we can go over some more leather working techniques and projects in his next 2 days, which is going to be fun. And then later on in the month, we also have another new to leather work guy who is looking at doing more smaller leather work stuff. So that's going to be really fun to go over that as well, because it's just, leather is fun, people. And so if you are interested in doing a one-to-one leather craft workshop with me, then please do get in touch. I would love to meet you. So spaces are limited for this year, and although there are a lot of spaces now, they hopefully, for me, fingers crossed, will get booked up soon, and I'll be nice and busy doing those. But like I said, if you are interested in doing them, it's best to get in contact soon, because I can get you penciled in the diary to avoid a disappointment. And so that is going to be it for this episode of the J.H. Leather Podcast. I hope you enjoyed listening along, and if you were watching on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed the photos, and I hope you have a good month and happy crafting. And I won't see you. I always get that wrong. And I'll catch you in the next episode.